This year, I've read 49 books.
Oh my
I know,
gosh,
I
that's
know.
so crazy.
But imagine how much happier I'd be if I'd read 50. 50th book of the year.
You can't take her anywhere for real.
I'm working down here, I'm working. So in this week's video, I'll be meeting that goal by reading my 50th book of 2025. And I have 5 days to do it, so that should be pretty easy, right? Right?
It's currently 7 a.m. on a Saturday. Everyone in my house is asleep right now, so I'm kind of scared because I'm about to start The Exorcist.
You serious?
Yep.
What was that?
The Exorcist is my 50th book of the year. I'm super excited because I've been wanting to read this for a while, but I've never gotten the chance to. Here we are. Okay, apparently Gypsy knew that I was scared, so now that we have my emotional support animal here, we can start the book.
Day 2 reading The Exorcist. I didn't get super far yesterday. I got like 13% through the book. And if I'm so honest, I don't love it. I'm not loving it, but I know that it's early, so I'm not gonna judge it too harshly. So I marked this point because it says, what the freak's going on? And for some reason, the fact that we're reading a thriller horror novel and the characters are saying what the freak instead of just saying what the fuck, like instead of just cursing, is so awkward to me. Like, I think that happened a couple times and it just felt awkward and random. This same character says, what in freak are you talking about, Sharon? Like, it seems weird, what in freak? Other than that, I do like the writing. Like, I like how descriptive it is. For instance, in chapter 1, the first sentence is, like the brief doomed flare of exploding suns that registers dimly on blind men's eyes, the beginning of the horror passed almost unnoticed. And the shriek of what followed, in fact, was forgotten and perhaps not connected to the horror at all. So that's beautiful and descriptive writing that I really, really enjoy. But because we started out with such beautiful prose, I expect that throughout. So whenever there's like awkward instances that for some reason stand out to me, it's just a little bit jarring. But I am excited to continue and I'll update you guys as soon as I have thoughts. Also, I think my voice is getting messed up and I'm feeling the urge to cut my hair. I know this is also random, but I haven't talked to you guys in so long that the last time you saw this garage, it looked so different. So let me show you guys what it looks like now. We got a full table in here and we have these little chairs on the side and this is where I'm gonna be reading right now. So let's get to reading and hopefully I can distract myself with the book because genuinely I have not been liking my look lately. Something about my makeup or the way that my hair is sitting is just bothering me so much to where I want to change something dramatically. And I low-key want to dye my hair, do something crazy, but maybe I can just convince myself to like cut bangs or something, which could be like the ultimate flop. I might actually ruin myself, but that looks kind of cute, right? Like, let's get to reading. Everything that I just pointed out in the last section was all intentional. Basically, the main character is a mother, and the mother never curses for a reason because now her young daughter is starting to act unlike herself, and she's cursing a lot, like saying very vulgar things. And now we know that it's obviously not the mother that's influencing her, so there must be some other force, whether that's the kids at her school or the people around her that are influencing the way that she's acting. And now she's complaining about a smell in her room that only she can smell. And she's also been saying that things are moving her furniture around. So let's see what happens. I'm officially 29% through this book. I need it to get freakier. Like, I need it to get scary. I need to be trembling in fear because I have my emotional support kitty finally on me. I was surprised that she's leaving. Awesome, yes. The last sentence of the chapter, something a little freaky weird happened. So I'm hopeful that part 2 will be full of scary experiences. I'm crossing my fingers because I want to get scared.
I wanted to update you guys that I'm currently listening to the audiobook as I'm following along with the story, and I do think it makes for a more entertaining experience because the narrator translates the dialogue into a very natural tone and delivery. So I'm really appreciating that, but it just got pretty weird at the end of page 114. Like, huh? I was not expecting that at all. Yes, it's getting more entertaining, but at the cost of it being like odd and something I wasn't expecting. So we still have lots of time for this book to completely wow me, but this chunk, the beginning chunk, wasn't necessarily my favorite. I don't know. It's time to read some more. Officially day 3 reading my 50th book of the year. That's actually crazy. I'm still not over it, but I have to meet the goal in order for that to be true. So I have 2 days left. I hope that I can get a lot of reading done today, but as you can probably hear in my voice, I think I'm getting sick. I actually got dressed up today. I've been trying to style myself better because for one, I've been feeling like shit about myself, but dressing up has actually been really helping me. Like I got some cool rings on today, a little necklace, some cool earrings, so I feel a lot better about myself even though I'm getting sick. Anyways, back to my 50th book of the year. I am still kind of confused about how I feel. I don't feel super strong one way or the other. I thought I would like it a lot more than I'm liking it. It just is what it is. I don't know. I want to feel scared and I don't. I just don't. I did mark a few spots that I wanted to address with you guys. This part was really interesting because they're talking about Ouija boards, and apparently like psychologically whenever we're using Ouija boards, our hands are subconsciously moving. Like we don't realize that we're kind of answering our own questions. But obviously the people that believe in spirits think that the spirits are moving it.
Isn't that right, Daddy?
But this is an interesting perspective that kind of merges those two theories. So on page 80, someone that was talking to the main character says, "Oh, I know you don't believe in the spirit world, Chris, but I do. And if I'm right, perhaps the bridge between the two worlds is what you yourself just mentioned, the subconscious mind." That's pretty interesting because maybe it is just like a fourth dimensional space where these spirits lie, but we would only be able to access that if we look inward in order to communicate with them on the board. Because I don't know if I specifically believe in Ouija boards, but I know that I would never myself use one. Now for the second point in the book that I marked. This is just an example of the beautifully descriptive language that I really enjoy in this book. In the smothering stillness, Reagan's breathing came raspy as if from a rotted putrid bellows, here, yet far and sinister. I need to read today. Will I? Not sure. Right now I want to play pool, so that's what I'm gonna do.
All I have to do is follow through.
Oh, you got one. That one. Dedicated to Jester.
Jester dreams.
Guys, I do not feel good. Earlier, I was honestly on a high. And then after the pool game, it went downhill from there. So I'm gonna keep reading. I've been listening to the audiobook and I'm honestly like pretty bored. If I'm being so honest, I want something crazy to happen. Nothing crazy is happening and I don't know. So I'm gonna keep reading. Hopefully Gypsy lays with me and makes me feel better, but she'll probably leave. Right.
It's officially day 4 reading The Exorcist. I need to make a big dent today because I only have 1 day left. And as you can tell in my voice, I'm getting more and more sick as this week progresses. We must persevere because I need to finish this book. I must claim the 50th book of the year title because I think that's the most books I've ever read in a year. And this book is the path to that achievement, so I must read it. But I'm not loving it still. I kind of think it's boring. There is a lot more happening than in the first half of the book. I just don't find it very entertaining. But I know that this book was probably so revolutionary for its time, but based on the movies and the books that we have out now, I don't think it's very good. I'm sorry. But I wanted to show you guys my outfit because I'm pretty sure my outfit matches the book perfectly today. So let's see. Justice, you get the framing right? Gotcha, bro. So here's my outfit. It matches the book, and as you can tell, it looks like I'm wearing a skirt, right? Boom, pants. I started editing last night, so hopefully I can get this video out the first week of January. And then I have another book video planned that I think you guys would really like because out of the 50 books that I read this year, there's only a select few that I would recommend, and that's going to be my next video. Yippee! me. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe so you get the notification when that video comes out. Hopefully I can finish the book today. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Okay, it's literally 2 minutes later, but I wanted to show you guys what happens every time I try to style myself. A mess of clothes on my bed, and today isn't even bad. Usually my whole bed is covered and then I have to put up all my clothes before I'm able to move on with my day. So honestly, styling yourself is a privilege. A lot of people do not have time to spare to be like rifling through their clothes. So do not judge yourself because we are all so busy and we really don't have time to put on a cute outfit sometimes. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Okay, you guys, it's officially day 5 reading The Exorcist. It's my final day, so I must complete the book today. That's not going to be a problem because I'm already at 96%. What are you doing? She wants to go outside so bad. Should I take them outside right now? Okay, let's go outside. Before I put on a jacket, let me show you guys my outfit. Is it cute? Like, we got this black flowy skirt and a flowy green top. I haven't worn this yet, but I got both of these pieces from the bins. And I think it's really cute. Like I told you guys, I've been trying to style myself every day so that I don't feel super depressed. And it's working so far. But I do need to add this jacket. Kind of ruins the outfit completely. But no one's gonna see me, so it's okay. Let's go outside. Like I've established, I'm 96% through the book, so I'm nearly done. I just have the epilogue. I have to kind of give a little bit more context about the book. Basically, the little girl Reagan is the one experiencing some kind of like demonic possession type thing. But the priest that the mom brings to the house has a lot of experience with psychiatry. Like, he is an experienced psychiatrist. He's a doctor. So all of his understanding of Reagan's situation first comes to science and then comes to his religious backing. So this part of the book is just so interesting because it kind of explains how psychologically someone can be convinced of the fact that they're experiencing demonic possession, and our brain is so powerful that then if there's an exorcism carried out, then they're suddenly cured from it. Let me just read it and it'll make a lot more sense. But to someone who really thinks he's possessed, I'd have to say that the ritual's pretty impressive, and it used to work, in fact, although not for the reason they thought. It was purely the force of suggestion. The victim's belief in possession helped cause it, and in just the same way, his belief in the power of the exorcism can make it disappear. That is so interesting to me. And genuinely, I feel like I'm super interested in neuroscience because our brains are so powerful. And obviously, I don't know if it's real, but it sounds real. So the next point I marked were just pages in which the priest was disproving every single thing that Reagan did, or somehow tying it back to another experience in the past where they thought it was demonic possession, but then it was actually just the brain playing tricks on the person that thought that they were possessed. So for instance, Reagan's like making weird faces and the mom thinks that it's because there's a demon inside of her, but he concludes that it could have been just partly her illness and partly undernourishment. Or another thing, like how Reagan's voice sounds so different. The priest, for one, hadn't ever heard Reagan's original voice, but also he concluded that if she was constantly shrieking, it would thicken the vocal cords, which would consequently give her a deepening of the voice. So basically the entire latter half of the book is just him going back and forth in his own head about whether or not this girl is actually possessed. So that was all super interesting. I liked it a lot. As you guys know, I was using an audiobook by the end, and I'm actually really glad I did that because I was so surprised by the ending of this book. Genuinely shocked. My mouth was on the floor. I literally started recording because it was so crazy. The narrator read that and I was just in shock. So now I just have the epilogue to read and then I will have completed my 50th book of the year. I finished my 50th book of the year. 50th book of the year. Thank you, thank you. I'm working down here, I'm working. So, what did I think about The Exorcist? Well, thank you for asking. As we've learned in many an update, I didn't love this book, but I will say that I wasn't upset by the conclusion, and usually in horror books, the ending pisses me off. This book didn't piss me off. So points there. I didn't find that this book was particularly scary, and I was obviously expecting that, like it's literally called The Exorcist. I was expecting to be really, really scared, and I was never really scared. There was one point during the listening experience when I got a little bit freaked out, like I got chills, and it's because the little girl in the book started singing.
Tantum ergo sacramentum bene remor cernui.
a little scary little freaky kid. That's one of the only things that can truly frighten me. But aside from that, I really wasn't scared. Like, I was reading this book at night at some points and I didn't care. But overall, I don't think this was a bad book. I'm not obsessed with it. It wasn't a great book. Above average, I would say, but just slightly. So based on that, what do you think my rating would be? My final rating is going to be a 3-star. And I only say a 3-star instead of a 3.5 because this title right here says the most terrifying novel ever written. And I just beg to differ. There are so many other scarier novels, but as we've established, probably revolutionary for its time. I'm sure of it. And also I discovered that The Exorcist is actually based on true events. So that makes it a little bit freakier because in what universe would these things actually be happening? Honestly, reading this book just really made me want to watch the movie. So that's what I'm gonna do next. If you've read this book, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you thought about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Make sure you're there because bye!